Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So today's trade went horribly against us, but we managed to get out without too much damage. Now, in the spirit of transparency, whenever we make a profit or a loss, as long as we're trading on that day, we're going to share it with you. Today, I think we also partly addressed how there's no such thing as being an option seller or an option buyer. It all comes down to the market. If there's enough momentum, you have to take a trade. Provided it fits into your risk management and capital management strategy. We had a strangle position as we've had in this entire series, but when it started going against us, we essentially went long options. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the volatility, we got stopped out, but that's fine. That's all part of what happens in the market. And overall, we managed something like a 3% negative today. So I look forward to your feedback, and we will be trading tomorrow as well. So we'll see you then. Have a great evening. Okay, so we've started entering our position for the day. We're considering 15,000 to be a very good support area for now. That's what we're doing. Oops. Okay, so we entered our position. We are now strangling between 15,000 and 15,300, and we're just going to wait for right now. Bank Nifty is looking flat and it's exactly at 36,000, which is what the data yesterday was suggesting. So it looks like a sideways time for Bank Nifty, but IT once again is taking off for the day. So IT is taking off. Reliance is once again gapped up and not getting sold into, so maybe convincingly breaks above 1970 today. Yeah, not exactly dipping. We're not dipping after we opened. Auto after yesterday's up move, slight profit booking at the initial stages, slight bounce after FMCG dipped yesterday. More or less looking flat. Doesn't, I mean, we might get surprised on the upside, but yeah, BTST yesterday on Infi, TCS, Infi, or likely would have done quite well. So yeah, the time is 9:20, and we've just entered our position. So we're seeing a dip, mainly being led by Bank Nifty, but at the same time, IV is coming down, even though we're breaking yesterday's high. So now the idea will be roll down our calls the moment we touch yesterday's close. So if we go below 15,130, then we'll roll down our calls by one strike. So yeah, I mean, it's natural. We see gap up and it's getting sold into, but I think there's good support also at Bank Nifty. Good amount of put writing at 36,000. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a full sell-off from there. So yeah, we're going to wait. If this, we'll roll these down to 15 to 15 if this dip continues to worsen, but we don't want to react on the first candle here right away, which isn't even closed. We'll wait for a candle to properly close below yesterday's close, and then we'll roll down our calls. That's the plan for now. So both positions are open. So we're going sideways around 15,150, and let's see what's happening, right? So Bank Nifty is taking a dip, but IT is really taking off. Now Bank Nifty might not dip too much, but IT might continue to take off. And Reliance sideways, like exactly where it opened. So as far as Nifty is concerned, this 15,150 will sort of hold. Now, will there be anything else contributing today? Let's take a quick look. FMC, nothing. It dipped yesterday, and today it's sort of slightly in the green. Might see go a little bit more in the green, considering it was down 0.5% yesterday. Pharma, nothing to look at. Nothing else of large concern. SBI once again staying range bound after its up move. Nothing else that is particularly trending. Yeah, Kotak new lifetime high and then dip from there. Nothing else of consequence. So it's 9:25. Okay, so here is what is happening now. So Bank Nifty stopped going down, but IT continues to go down. And what IT can do potentially now is head all the way up to these levels. Right here, this zone here. Great news coming in, so IT can really head up. Might not be today, but slowly. Right now we're back on the up. All good news coming in. So Reliance as well, breaking out big time on the upside. So 15,200 looks like we will be taking out. Of course, right now immediately call prices would have inflated. So our call prices are inflating. What we'll do is we'll move up half of this to 15,100. So that's the plan of action. Okay, so we moved up half there, and we'll move up all of these to 15,100. Okay, so how does our risk management change? Now it's all about the day's low. So take out the day's low on the Nifty. Here, we take this out. That's the point when we roll down our calls. So that's the trade plan for now. Okay, what's happening now is since we broke 15,140, our position is still heavily bullish. Obviously, we have much more credit from the put side, but we moved down our calls because our calls really deflated. So we have moved in closer. So same here as well. We have moved down our calls by 50. So what exactly is happening? IT started to take a dip, very slight dip, but we don't want any cascading effect with Bank Nifty following through. Reliance as well is really strong. There's no real reason to be concerned about the puts, but just because there's such a big imbalance at that point, once the puts start expanding, you don't want to let that cascade, which is why we have now moved down our calls. Now the next step will be if we break down here, still we have traded above yesterday's close. But if we break down here, then we move our calls down further. That's the plan. So the 10 o'clock update is that we have the same position. Now some people would say, why did you not wait till here for closing below this to move down the calls? The answer to that is simple. We had already moved up our puts. So we moved up 50% of these puts to this level, and we had moved up all of these puts. So since we moved up our puts and then we took additional risk on the put side, it only made sense to roll down the calls. And in a market like this, when many people are trailing the stop losses, you never know. A bunch of them hitting at the same time, you can see levels break down really quickly. Market is looking good. Our hypothesis for now holds. So Bank Nifty also seems to be recovering from the day's lows. It's at a very strong support zone. We have this position on Bank Nifty, which is doing good for now. This is a positional one. We're just going to hold this, and yeah, that's the idea. Reliance is doing really well as well now, taking support at 1980 and holding that level. So positionally, we're doing well. We're almost up around 6 lakhs from our yesterday's close on our positions. So we'll update you at the next one. Okay, skipped recording this, but basically we now moved all of our puts up. So all of our puts are at 15,100. Reason for this is Bank Nifty is now moving up and moved up over 3,600. Our view on Bank Nifty is that after such a trending week last week, it is very likely to be a sideways week, and that's what the options positions are also showing. Now we also have a trade to sort of capture that, so which is this. We have a short straddle at 36,000, but our view is not justifying our trade. So we don't want to be the ones who like, okay, we have this trade, that's why this is going to happen. In this case, it's just that's the view, so this is the trade. In case the view starts going wrong, then appropriately the trade will have to be managed. So yes, here as well, here we didn't have to move, we had already moved. So we have now a strangle that will probably neutralize in 20 points. We're seeing, I'm guessing there should be some amount of resistance at 15,200. We might take it out though, but you see Reliance is dipping the same time Bank Nifty is going up. So once again, index management, Reliance dips to take care of the fact that Bank Nifty is going up. So yeah, the time is 10:35 and this is where we are as of now. Okay, our strangle is now getting balanced. So our strangle is almost perfectly balanced now, and the idea will be, before we move our puts up further to 15,150, we want to spend at least 10-15 minutes at this, in this range, and if we hold 10-15 minutes above 15,200, then we'll move up our puts. Part of them will move them higher. We will not do it immediately, but yeah, in a bit. So yeah, 15,200 now taken out, and we're trading at the day's highs, and Bank Nifty is mainly what is contributing to all of this. Okay, it's almost 11 o'clock and 10:50. What we've done is we've moved up half our puts from 15,100 to 15,150, and the calls are exactly where they are. Same here, we have moved up our puts 15,150, and what's happening now? So Bank Nifty is making a big up move, but we don't really need to be concerned about Bank Nifty breaking out until at least yesterday's high is taken out. So then if we then start heading towards a new all-time high, then we'll have to adjust our Bank Nifty position, but until then, nothing to be done. IT is consolidating in the same space, so it gapped up and it's consolidating and might continue its up move. So IT is there. Reliance, once again, same spot as where it was. So nothing has changed. So as of 11 o'clock, 10:53, this is what our position looks like. Okay, so 11:03, and we're going to move up the rest of our puts now. So Okay, calls are really expanding now. We're gonna watch and not overreact too quickly. We're quite well balanced. We're quite well balanced almost. Delta is close to being neutral, slightly negative, but that's all right. Bank Nifty is seeing massive call writing at 36,000. Until this gets taken out, no reason to assume too much more upside from Bank Nifty coming in. Now, the other thing is Reliance also is now making an up move. But yeah, we're going to hold this position for now. The next thing to do would be to create a short straddle position. So we'll create a short straddle position by moving up first half of these puts to 15250. So it'll create a short straddle there. And then if we really break 15250, then we'll move up all the puts. If we continue to see a move from there, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have inverted positions and all of that going on. One more really interesting thing to know, right? So Bank Nifty today, biggest gainers are like ICICI Bank, Kotak, SBI. HDFC Bank is gaining as well, but it's not HDFC Bank that's carrying the Bank Nifty. It's very evidently not HDFC Bank. It's still chilling around that 1600 as it has been for a while. Now this tells you that it's not FIIs coming in with big money to buy banks, because as much as possible, when you see HDFC and HDFC Bank rally, that's when you know there's potentially a lot more money coming in there, because those are the ones that are the big movers of Bank Nifty. I mean, HDFC Bank is the big mover of Bank Nifty. So so far Bank Nifty, despite the up move, looks very sideways. So that's what we're working with. Okay, so 12 o'clock update is that yeah, Bank Nifty most likely going to continue to be sideways, hasn't taken out yesterday's high. Nifty as well consolidating at current levels. Reliance once again holding the same range, and IT now starting to dip a little bit towards yesterday's close. So there isn't really much momentum as of now. Something that happened yesterday. Something that happened in the morning is that Asian Paints really took off and broke out of this range that it was trading in, so it could potentially have made a bottom. A positional thing that can be done is probably sell a cash secured put at 2300, 2400 on Asian Paints, and yeah, that would be quite an easy position to manage as well, because it can always be roll forward in case it's bad. So it dipped quite a bit from recent top, so I think almost dipped like 400 points from the top. So yeah, probably a good idea to do that. As far as our trade is concerned, we're exactly where we were. Now this put is expanding slightly, so the idea will be if we break down below 15200, then we'll make a short straddle at 15200. If we break up above 15250, then we'll make a short straddle at 15250. Now if this range holds though, if this range holds, this now 50-point range that we have taken about you can say 180 points of credit for, this should decay, this 180 should decay by around 15 to 20 points if the range holds and we continue to remain sideways for the day. So that's the idea for now. Adjustment will be very simple. If it breaks one strike convincingly, we move the other strike to make a short straddle there. We'll give you the next update at 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock update. Our position is a short straddle that we have taken 180 points for, which has a width of 50 points, and currently we're in that range. What is happening is yeah, Reliance once again at that support zone of 1975. Bank Nifty is holding exactly where it was, hasn't taken out yesterday's high. Nifty now taking a dip because IT as well is heading back towards yesterday's close. That's what it looks like for now. What do we do now for management? Not much. Whichever strike breaks, we'll move the other side. So if it's looking like this 200 put is going to go in the money, then we'll move down the calls first partly and then wholly to the same strike to create a short straddle there. If it breaks on the upside, then we'll move the puts up and create a short straddle at 15250. So that's the trade plan for now. And yeah, today Asian Paints is really taking off. So Asian Paints could have potentially made a bottom here. So selling a 2300 or 2400 cash secured put on Asian Paints potentially makes sense. It corrected quite a bit from the high, I think like 350 points from the recent high. This is probably a good point to sell cash secured put. Be quite easy to manage as well. So yeah, that's the plan for now. We're just going to hold this position. It's quite well balanced, and we'll adjust partly or wholly if the strikes start to be in the money. The amount of decay that we can expect on this position will probably be 15 to 20 points. That'll probably be the best case scenario. We see out of that 180, it lose about 15 to 20 points. So that's probably what we'll go for today. Okay, so broken below, just slightly below 15200, but if you see, this put isn't really expanding that much. Hardly anything. Call is going down in price, but put isn't really expanding that much in price. It means a lot of people who have shorted this are not exactly immediately buying it back. Nifty IT is dipping, but the question will be, Nifty IT breaks yesterday's close or today's opening, and then it would be of concern. For now, this dip isn't too much of concern. If it breaks down here, then we have to move our calls for management, but not right away, because our calls are basically worth 80% of our put value. So it's not something we have to immediately rush down and move. So we have to hold on. Bank Nifty as well, it's hardly dipping at all. It's like still holding above this point, right? So yeah, no particular reason to over manage our trade. Our trade remains as is, right? These are worth 99. They're not really expanding. If you see, close to a dip of 30 points, and these puts had expanded only about 12 points. So yeah, that would be the wrong situation. Had these calls been much higher, had these been the 15300 call, then we'll probably move them down, but from this position, not really. What's happening? Okay, 111 update. So what is happening now is Nifty is retesting the day's high. So Nifty is now trading at an all-time high again. What is happening from Bank Nifty is still below yesterday's high. Still seems quite sideways from the open interest. Reliance is flat, as can be. IT as well, quite flat. What is happening with the other indices? FMCG is flat, Pharma is flat, Auto is also flat. So we don't have any momentum in any direction. Nifty potentially looking to like break out above 14,250, but we're not going to aggressively move up our puts yet. That would be a very bad idea. So what we'll do is we'll wait for it to see what is convincingly taking it over. If that happens, we'll go partly have a short straddle at 15,250 and retain the rest in a strangle position. Okay, so we're seeing a big uptake on Bank Nifty. Once again, going to test yesterday's high, and from an options premium perspective, the calls are not at all expanding. You would think that a move like that, and now Nifty like breaking today's high once again after testing multiple times and moving up, you would think the calls should really expand, but that's not happening. So situation is wait and watch. We are going to see if this expands to 95. If it does expand to 95, then we move up our puts. Calls really haven't expanded if you look correlation with what's happened. 1 o'clock update. Basically this breakout didn't really see much. This thing and Bank Nifty as well hasn't broken yesterday's high. The idea behind Bank Nifty being sideways is, so look at the open interest on Bank Nifty. Yesterday we had almost 10% of futures positions unwound, so both you can say longs and shorts. And yesterday it was quite sideways from day before, from Friday. So at the same time, you're seeing very good call writing, very good put writing. Of course, today put writing far more than call writing, a little bit of unwinding, but this is all centered around 36,000. So that's why I don't know. it looks very sideways. With respect to what's happening with Nifty today, very strong put writing. So Nifty is looking extremely strong, and see the multi-strike OI. 15,000 put is extremely strong today, so everybody is gone, building up there. So yeah, right now the strength continues. Our position is exactly the same. We're strangling, and now there's how much, 165, less than that in this strangle. It can probably decay another 10-15 points from here also, given how sideways we are being. So that's the idea here as well. So we'll keep you posted. Okay, so it is 2:20, and now we're seeing Bank Nifty inch above yesterday's high. Seeing Bank Nifty inch above yesterday's high, and that is leading to the Nifty calls now actually expanding. So they're expanding above 90, and the puts really crashed. The puts crashed almost 6-7 points. The calls expanded about like 3-4, but the puts are really crashing. So that being said, even now we're not going to shift up the puts yet. We'll give it a breather. And then we'll shift 50% of our position. So we're holding the same position, but we're getting ready now to most likely have to move our puts. What we'll do is we'll wait for this level to hold, right? Give a break above 15,265 to move up the puts automatically then, or hold above 15,250 for 10 minutes or something, and then we'll move up the puts. Until then, we don't want to do it in a hurry. This puts deflated rapidly. So yeah, that's the trade plan. It's 1420. Okay, we're holding the same position. We're strangling the same 50 points. One thing to notice, so this Bank Nifty potential breakout situation happened, which did not go through, got rejected. And yeah, the reason you see sudden inflation and deflation of premiums is kind of like this. Let's say somebody had bought the 15,200 put, right? Let's say they either did that or went long the future. Went short the futures here, or anywhere here. They would have set their stop loss here. So the moment this happened, you would have seen all those people with long puts get out, which is why that sudden supply, you see a big change, big deflation in the value, which will once again recorrect. The fact that call prices are not really going up despite all this just says that the buyers are not willing to pay enough, and the sellers are like, okay, I don't mind selling cheaper. So that's why you would think more range boundness and not as much upside. Now, something that's happening at the same time that we have to be slightly watchful of is swing low of IT from where it picked up being retested. So that is something we're going to have to be watchful of. Now, this could lead to some momentum on the downside. It starts breaking down. But apart from that, everything else remains the same. We're holding the same position. Very well balanced. These puts expanded quite a bit. I mean, that upper move and then the down move made them expand quite a bit. So yeah, for now we're good to hold as we are. It's same on both. Okay, risk management time again potentially. So what we're going to do is now if there is more, we've broken out of this, and now if we head down lower and we test 15,200, we are going to move down our calls. So part of them, not all of them, but if 15,200 is tested, we're going to immediately shift down part of our calls. The reason for that is basically that now Bank Nifty got rejected from a high level, and that rejection might continue to see some sort of all these guys who went long here saying now it's going to break out, they're probably like, okay, I gotta get out. So that's one aspect. And also IT is now making new lows. So that will be the reason why this time, as soon as we test, we will move and we won't wait much more. Another concern now is Reliance dipping. So it's taking support around this 1975 mark and is showing potentially a dip beyond that. Bank Nifty, I don't know. I think worst case scenario also it still moves around that 36,000 mark. So I think it goes to 36,000, probably gets bought from there. IT as well is holding, like broken here, but still holding. So the only concern will be something happening with Reliance. If it starts to slide, if this volume starts to pick up here. So that's the only concern. So we're ready to buy back our calls and sell these. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we moved down 50% of our calls here. So now we have a short straddle with 50% of our position, and we have a strangle which is bullish. So yeah, from risk managing, that much is good enough for now. Here as well we have a short straddle which is bullish. So let us see for the next minute if we really break down, go a couple of points more. We'll shift this account as well to a short straddle position, and if we hold there, then we'll shift the entire position to a short straddle at 15,200. Okay, big move on Reliance now. So gotta get out of this. Okay. That's fine. Here as well. Okay, we're going to also now exit our short calls, short puts, because now the momentum is really picking up. Okay. Okay, we made a massive mess up there. Okay, we are now long the puts that we short, and we're going to set stop losses on this. and we're going to basically keep moving up these stop losses. So we'll put this to 134. And we'll move all of these up. Okay, we need to lock this in as quickly as possible. So 140. Okay, gonna cut it, mark it. And we're gonna set this to once again 135. My god. Okay, massive breakdown. Okay, summary for the day. Basically, very interesting day, and yeah, completely broke out of our range, went against our view, so we just tried to manage it to the extent that we could. We also tried to play the downside momentum, but unfortunately, so we did go short here, and we got stopped out by this, but that's fine. The fact that we exited our short puts and went long puts and tried to capture a few points on that itself did us really well. Now, yeah, this would have been a difficult short play to do as well. So you had this big recovery and the V-shaped recoveries, right, that we're seeing. So yeah, we can re-enter here. We went short here, we tried to play it here, and then we got stopped out once again. But that's fine. We did it because there was enough momentum to play it, and everything started breaking down. ID broke down. Somebody really wanted to pull Bank Nifty to 36,000. Many people they wanted to pull it back to 36,000. So our view of 36,000 Bank Nifty is doing all right. That's fine. In terms of what the damage was, we are down about 85 here. We're down about 2.27 here. So down about 3 lakhs for the day, which on our capital is a little more than 3%. But that being said, these kind of days happen, and nothing can be done about it if you manage. In fact, there was a point when we were playing the downside momentum that we were actually in profit despite that when we were long the puts, but we got stopped out, and that's fine. We don't want to take on more risk than intended. So tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be trading tomorrow as well. And in the spirit of transparency, really wanted to show you that yes, loss happens, and yeah, this is how you deal with it. So thank you so much for watching. Please do join us tomorrow, and we'll catch you then. Have a great day. Good night.
Thank you for watching. Please post any questions you have in the comment section. Also, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. To find us on Twitter and Telegram, use the username NiftyBN. Also, I post some of my trades to the community tab, so don't forget to check that from time to time.